Welcome back to the deep dive. Ever, uh, ever sat in a team meeting, full of ideas, but maybe found they just got lost?
Oh, definitely. Or drowned out by the loudest person in the room.
Exactly. Or maybe never even said out loud. Well, today we're tackling that. We're diving into a really interesting alternative to, let's say, standard brainstorming. Our mission really is to explore a process that tries to make sure every voice gets heard, every idea gets a fair look, like a shortcut to better team collaboration.
Sounds promising. Where do we start?
So let's jump right in. We're looking at this thing called brainwriting. It's quite a shift from that maybe chaotic free-for-all you sometimes get.
Right, the classic brainstorm.
Yeah. Brainwriting is designed more deliberately, the surface possibilities that often get missed. The whole idea is tapping into that hidden potential within teams.
And what's really fascinating here, I think, is why it's so needed, especially for groups that maybe they struggle to really hit that collective intelligence level. Well, it directly tackles issues like anchoring bias, where the first idea shared just dominates everything.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that happen plenty of times.
Or groupthink,
right,
where everyone kind of agrees to avoid conflict, even if the idea isn't the best. Brainwriting sort of stops that.
How so?
By making sure all the ideas get out there first. And crucially, all voices contribute. But without that immediate judgment or pressure, it stops good ideas from just getting overlooked.
That point about all voices contributing without judgment feels really key. So, okay, for the listeners thinking, all right, I want to try this. How does brainwriting actually work? What are the, practical steps?
It's actually remarkably straightforward, a 4-step process, really, designed to go from individual thinking to then collective refinement.
Okay. Step 1.
First, everyone starts by just generating their ideas separately, silently, usually writing them down. No discussion yet.
Just pure individual brainstorming first. Makes sense.
Exactly. Then, step 2, these ideas are pooled together but anonymously, shared with the group, but, no names attached. Still no discussion.
Anonymous pooling. Okay, what's next?
Third, and this is important, each person evaluates all those pooled ideas on their own, privately, assessing the merits without being swayed by the group.
Preserving that independent judgment, I see.
Precisely. It avoids that herd mentality. Only then, as the 4th and final step, does the team actually come together. And that's when they openly discuss, select, and sort of refine the most promising options that came out of that individual evaluation.
That's the bit that really jumps out at me, the power of developing and assessing ideas individually before you even get to the group selection. It makes me think of all those maybe quieter but brilliant ideas that just get lost in a normal brainstorm because someone else spoke first or louder, or they just felt, intimidated.
That's exactly it. This process gives those ideas a real chance to surface and be considered properly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture for you listening, this structured approach is what genuinely helps groups reach a much higher level of collective intelligence.
So better outcomes, basically.
Demonstrably better outcomes, often. Because you're embracing that focused individual thought first, that careful, independent evaluation before the group dynamic kicks in. You're leveraging everyone's thinking, not just the most dominant voices.
It's really about cultivating an environment where every idea gets its due consideration.
Yeah, not just the loudest or the first one out there.
So what does this all mean then for, how we work day to day? It feels like this simple shift could genuinely transform how teams function.
I think so.
Moving away from that potential noise and, frankly, missed opportunities towards something more focused, clearer insights. No more just sitting there waiting for someone to land on the idea you already had 10 minutes ago.
Exactly. And maybe that raises a really important question for you, the listener, to think about. How might integrating this kind of individual thought and anonymous sharing the core of brainwriting, how might that change the outcomes in your own teams? Your own collaborative efforts?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
What potential is just sitting there untapped?
Precisely. What unexpected, maybe even game-changing ideas might be waiting just below the surface in your team, just needing a different way to, start the conversation? Makes you think, doesn't it?